listening to the Terra Nova podcast, a podcast all about the Fox television show Terra Nova. This is Season 1, Episode 2. The countdown begins.
The eyes of the world are on Hope Plaza today, as the 10th pilgrimage prepares to depart for Terra Nova, bringing the total number of colonists to over 1,000.
Give me security.
Whatever happens, keep moving.
Sir, I need you to step out of line.
If we go in there, we can't come back.
We will be right behind you. I won't go without Dad. Go with your brother. He's dead. We'll find a way.
Citizens of 2149, together, we are at the dawn of a new civilization. Welcome to Terra Nova, folks. Welcome home.
Hello, Jordan.
Hey, what's up, Al?
Okay, this is show number 2. We are back, and they said we wouldn't last.
And we're back!
There is no TV show yet. It still premieres September 26th, so we're counting down. This is the Countdown Begins episode. We have a couple things for you this time. We have some feedback we're excited about. We have the audio from the Comic-Con Terra Nova panel, and we have a contest to tell you about. So let's get started. Jordan, did you get a chance to watch the Terra Nova panel from Comic-Con?
Yes, I did. I was able to catch it.
Cool. Why don't we just go ahead and start with that? We'll play that now. Sound good?
Sounds good to me. It's definitely an interesting listen. Let's play it.
This is the Terra Nova panel from Comic-Con.
So we're just going to jump straight into questions if we don't have a lot of time.
We have 30 seconds.
So, Stephen, when did you get here?
Oh, yesterday morning. Flew in from Australia.
Good to be here.
This is a big day for us. Comic-Con. Did you guys like it? It was really fun to make. We're curious to hear what your thoughts are and your questions.
How those dinosaurs look?
How did Stephen Lang look?
Don't be shy now. We don't have a lot of time.
Okay. We have a question?
Who are the Sixers? Somebody said anything? Therein lies a tale. Here's a official question.
If you want to go ahead and tell it first.
The Sixers are kind of our bad guys. As the Taylor character says in the show, they have a different agenda than his of building this new colony and this new hope for humanity there. So that's all we're going to say for now.
So there were a lot of the production executives coming from 24. How is it transitioning from that show to this one?
From 20, well, there are a lot of people from 24. I was the only writer from 24, but there have been a lot of our supervising director, John Cassar, and others came over from that show. And it's a pretty different show, although both are kind of fantasies, one an action fantasy and one an adventure fantasy. But it's a very different world, as you can imagine. Very, very different.
Hi guys, love the pilot. I just wondered if you had any concerns, because I know the visual effects delayed the pilot going forward, and if that you think that's going to affect the writing and how you're going to develop the story in terms of using the dinosaur versus using the Sixers as a villain and stuff like that. Thanks.
Well, we've created a pipeline to service the show, and Kevin Blank has created some new technologies that have never been done before. Kevin?
It's doing dinosaurs on a TV schedule and pipeline like this is a challenge, and I think we're getting better as we go, and this is where we are right now, and I think they're only going to be better going forward.
In terms of the storytelling of the dinosaurs, it's a dinosaur show. You will see dinosaurs. It's not like you're going to see them here in the pilot and then it's like, oh, pretend they don't exist. We're an expensive show. You're going to see the money on the screen. It's going to look badass.
In watching the pilot, it was appearing to me, with a cop instinct thing going here, that maybe Taylor has some hidden agenda behind what he's saying and what he's telling us. Am I reading more into it than what we have?
No. No, I think that we're suggesting a future and a past that has mystery, questions to be answered. I think, I think that Taylor is something of an enigmatic figure, and that's quite intentional. Hopefully it creates a certain interest through the character. And, the challenge here is to create a weekly event, something that's dramatic and resolves itself at the same time to continue kind of a mythic arc for the story as well. And that's, I think, suggested in the pilot.
But how can you not trust this?
I'd like to know what past writers or show have influenced your plotline.
Gilligan's Island. Well, I came up on Star Trek: The Next Generation. It was my first job in the business. It's where I met Brandon, and this is a reunion of sorts for us professionally. And I'd like to think that this is a show that Gene Roddenberry would have liked. And would have
It's the first show that I don't know if I can speak for you, Nick, just from a writing perspective, is very aspirational, humanistic, dangerous, and filled with adventure, but about second chances and exploring the humanity's new hope, but also the baggage they carry with them that's inevitable, and that's very Star Trek. That's real. Very Star Trek.
This question is for Steven. How does it feel like to act with the dinosaurs? I know they're CGI, but how difficult is that versus like maybe Avatar?
Well, it's difficult. It just requires focus and imagination, I think, and really specific guidance from the director. I think it helps to have great confidence in the expertise and creativity of the special effects team. I know that what I look at is going to be intriguing and fearsome, and I just have to be there to do it. It was not so different, doing the creatures in Avatar, I think, as well. So it's quite akin. By the way, I have to add also that I bring best wishes from Jason O'Mara, who I think is spectacular. He really is the leader of the cast, but of course, as such, has to work on a daily basis. I have it a little easier, so I can be here. But he wanted to say hi, and he regrets not being here to greet all of you, and looks forward to many future Comic-Cons.
So my question is, are we going to continue to see a lot of the future that we just saw in the clip?
Some of our storytellings will take place in the future as things get worse there. That will increase pressure on the colony and on Taylor, and how that how the Sixer agenda is tied to elements in the future. But the first batch of stories are primarily about the Shannons and how they settle into life here in Terra Nova.
Yeah.
Hi. I think dinosaurs are really cool, and so I'm wondering if I think that in other shows and movies with dinosaurs, people survive when they really wouldn't. Are we going to see lots of people eaten by dinosaurs?
Probably ask that guy from the truck.
Something you might not realize from the pilot, all of the dinosaurs in the Cretaceous are herbivores. So, no. No, I'm kidding. Of course, we like to kill people. We like to see them slashers and howlers and carnos and all of that. So, yeah, you're gonna see some pretty cool dino action. Some dino on man.
Considering the reaction that I got when that guy got eaten there, I figured there'll be a mandate from the network that there be one eating per week.
Epic dino on man action in the first episode and the second episode after the 2-hour pilot. So I don't think you'll be disappointed. You'll get some.
We'll satisfy your bloodlust.
I was actually wondering where Terra Nova was filmed.
Queensland, Australia.
I was wondering if you're going to have any other people or families transferred from the future back to the past.
Yes, it's an ongoing pilgrimage. We're primarily following the point of view of the Shannon family that you saw here, but this is a big, grand experiment, and there will be other pilgrimages coming, and other people and dangers as well coming into the colony over the course of the TV show.
We have time for one more question.
It seemed to me there might have been some influences from Jurassic Park. For instance, Drive. Was that intentional or unavoidable?
Well, it's certainly a little bit of both. Obviously, those are big footsteps to walk in, and having Mr. Spielberg involved, obviously, he very much wanted us to break new ground, and he hooked us up with his paleontology expert, Jack Warner, who works very closely with Kevin, designing the creatures and bringing in. You'll see in the second hour of the pilot some dinosaurs that are more in line with some of the latest paleontological thinking about how they're evolutionarily related to birds. So even in their movements and in their coloration, it's pretty cool. It's nothing like you've ever seen.
It's worth noting that on September 26th at 8 o'clock on Fox, you'll see this pilot and the second hour. It'll be a 2-hour presentation, so tune in. You'll love it. Also, we wanted to mention, if you would like to get eaten by a dinosaur yourself, go to the Terra Nova experience. It's a mobile experience. It's a big RV with some surprises inside, located at the Comic-Con interactive lot right now, if you want to do that.
I also wanted to mention, since we're a little short on time to take questions because of the screening, we'll be answering questions on Twitter at Inside Terra Nova throughout the day. And Jason O'Mara, who wanted to be here but couldn't be because he's working, he's also going to be answering questions on his Twitter page at Jason_O'Mara.
So did you like that?
No, I did actually. Like I said in the last podcast, I was staying kind of blind towards a lot of things for Terra Nova, but kind of glad I listened to it. It definitely shed some light on some things, and actually, in a way, made it more interesting.
Yeah, I'm even more excited. I'm glad that we titled the first show What We Think We Know, because I thought wrong on a couple of things. I guess Stephen Lang isn't the bad guy to start with. It's the Sixers, which I found out from Comic-Con and different interviews that I've seen so far. The Sixers are the sixth pilgrimage that went through the wormhole back in time, 85 million years, and they formed their own separate colony, and they look like the bad guys, almost like the others from Lost.
Ah, you stole what I was just about to say. I was about to say kind of like the others.
You can say it.
All right, go back again into this. I said it first. No.
The guys from the Fringe Podcast, that's at thefringepodcast.com, were actually at that Comic-Con panel, and they watched the first episode, Genesis Part 1 of Terra Nova, and they did a little mini recap of that episode, so if you want to find out more about that, you can go to thefringepodcast.com. It's episode 0350. It's about 20 minutes and 30 seconds in to that show that they start talking about Terra Nova. Some interesting stuff I learned. I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but if you want to listen to that, it's very interesting. And also, thanks to Daryl from the Fringe Podcast for giving our first show a listen and giving us some technical advice. Our first show was the pilot for this podcast, and it was full of technical glitches and audio errors, but we're hoping to clear those up as we go and get better every time.
Yeah, definitely big shout out to Daryl. We do appreciate it.
So what did you think of that panel? Did you learn anything interesting? Anything you didn't know before, or something that changed your expectations?
Well, yeah, I mean, just like you said, kind of finding more about the characters and the story. I like the info of the time travel, getting more info as to kind of what they're doing with that, and how, you know, they're kind of playing it off like it's not a huge part, but it does seem to be pretty integral, and it seems like they got some stuff up their sleeves, which, you know, is definitely interesting.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about how they're gonna solve the problem of the time travel affecting the future, how it's a distinct and separate timeline. So I'm thinking parallel reality kind of thing, you know, like when you go back in time, you're creating a separate parallel reality. It doesn't change the reality you came from or negate it. It just forms a new future. So two separate parallel realities. So that's what I got from what I heard.
I was kind of getting the same impression, kind of like you, kind of like how Source Code ended.
Yeah, I was wondering which future they're going to show, the future that already happened or the future that's going to happen because of what they did. It'll be something interesting to find out. I wanted to say I finally finished Life on Mars, the U.S. edition with Jason O'Mara. I really enjoyed it. We're running a contest on our website. You can go to www.terranovapodcast.com and enter our essay writing contest, where you could win the complete series of Life on Mars, the U.S. edition on DVD.
Yeah, guys, that's a good way to segue to the contest that we're running over at our website, www.terranovapodcast.com. You can enter to win the entire first season of the U.S. edition of Life on Mars, starring, of course, Jason O'Mara. Yeah, just write an essay, guys, on what you're most looking forward to about Terra Nova. And, email that to us over the website, and we'll judge, and whoever wins will get that entire DVD set.
You want to play the promo for that now, Jordan?
Yeah, let's play it.
Do you want a chance to win Life on Mars, the U.S. version, the complete series on DVD, starring Terra Nova's Jason O'Mara?
Sam Tyler.
You the warrant?
Got Judge Gaston out of bed this morning. Was a homicide detective.
Ready, Clarence?
Ready. On the verge of solving
Back door!
Suspect is gone out the back.
the biggest case of his career.
Hold it!
On range. You're under arrest, abduction and murder. Lori Stewart.
Until everything changed.
Go for Tyler. All units.
In the blink of an eye, his whole world rewound to 1973. And he has no idea why.
I need my cell.
You need to sell what?
He's the same cop.
You the transfer from Hyde? What the hell's going
on the same beat.
My desk. My computer. Like 2001, A Space Odyssey?
Looks like we got us a regular spaceman.
Don't ever walk into my kingdom acting the king of the jungle.
He's just 35 years early.
I was in an accident and I woke up in 1973. That either makes me a time traveler, a lunatic, or I'm lying in a hospital bed in 2008. And none of this is real.
Based on the international hit series.
I need to follow the Elvic Road.
What are you going to find?
Hopefully, the end of the Elvic Road.
Harvey Keitel.
It's 1973. Or, as our Chinese brethren call it, the fist.
Michael Imperioli.
Really are some kind of lunatic, Tyler. Just might make you a pretty good fit with us.
Gretchen Mall.
You feel it? If I were a figment of your imagination, I would probably let your hand linger on my chest. However...
Jonathan Murphy.
File room. It's where we keep the files.
Man, what I wouldn't give for some internet access.
And Jason O'Mara.
Wait, do we have a warrant?
Here's your warrant.
Perfect.
Here's what you need to get smart on quick. I never give up, and I always go for the max. When my time is done, they will say, he has been here. Of this I am sure.
When Life on Mars U.S., the complete series on DVD, starring Terra Nova's Jason O'Mara. Please submit an essay on the topic of what I'm most looking forward to about Terra Nova. We will try to read most of them on the show. Essay length is up to you, just make it interesting and show-worthy. All essays will be read and judged by our crew, and there will be one prize given to the author that we think has the most interesting essay. Judges' decisions are final. All essays must be submitted by August 26, 2011 to qualify for the contest. Send all essays to terranovapodcast@gmail.com. Please include a mailing address for shipping of the prize. Have fun with this, and thank you for being part of the Terra Nova podcast community.
I win this contest? I don't even own this myself.
No, you are not eligible to win this contest, Jordan. I'm sorry. But your birthday's coming up.
I know. I don't own Life on Mars Season 1. So if you get an entry by Schmoen, that's totally not me.
Is it on your wish list?
I just might be over in my Amazon wish list.
I might have to check that out. Yeah, I just finished watching it. I did the last, I guess there's 17 episodes altogether. I was wrong. I thought there was 13. There's 17. I wish there was 170. That show is so awesome. I'm very mad at myself for missing it the first time around, but I had a great time watching it. I watched it on Netflix, and I just did a marathon, and I didn't want it to end, but I wanted it to end because I wanted to find out how it ended. Even though I kind of knew, it was very surprising and interesting and unique. And just Jason O'Mara is going to be great on Terra Nova, I can tell.
I was going to say, that could brings up kind of an interesting alternate reality. You know, we're both sad that Life on Mars was canceled, but at the same time, if it wasn't, you know, who would have been on Terra Nova? You know, kind of always a plus and a bad sign, you know?
Yeah, it's sad that Life on Mars was over, but without that, then we wouldn't have Jason O'Mara on Terra Nova, so it all worked out for the best. Speaking of Jason O'Mara, we wished him a happy birthday, because it was his birthday a couple days ago, and on Twitter, and he responded by saying thanks, and he said he'll give our podcast a listen when he gets a chance.
I jumped for joy when I saw that. I really hope he does, and man, that's just awesome. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, Twitter's amazing. You used to have to go through, like, writing mail to a studio that would get a picture signed by them, but it wasn't really them. And now you can just talk to the stars of anything. And, you know, if they're good people, which this guy seems to be really good people, they just message you right back, which is really awesome. You can go through our website, and our Twitter link is on there, along with our Facebook link. Yeah, when I saw that Jason O'Mara responded to us and acknowledged the existence of our podcast, I was like, wow, I was amazed. Just showed you how good of a guy he is.
Yeah, we're blowing up. We're chatting with Jason O'Mara.
We're blowing up. We're on iTunes now. So you can search us on iTunes, search for Terra Nova. We're the one that comes up. Two guys running away from a dinosaur in a wormhole. The other one...
Yeah, no, I swear I'm not as bad as my cartoon looks.
I don't know what happened. The artist that did it, I just tried to describe you, and I think they did caricatures.
Aren't you the artist?
Ooh, yeah. That was me. I think... What happened there? maybe my aspect ratio was off on Photoshop or something?
I hope so.
I hope so. Well, I'm sure the different season covers will evolve. We might get a couple more co-hosts here soon. We got a couple people interested in doing it, so we'll see if that pans out. The more opinions, the better.
Are you replacing me already?
No one can replace Jordan. You're here for the long haul, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just going to have different people doing different segments and stuff like that.
I'm excited. If Jason O'Mara wants to co-host, that's cool.
Yeah, he's welcome anytime. Anytime, Jason O'Mara, you want to come on the show, just send us an email at terranovapodcast@gmail.com, and we'll set something up, and we'll get you an interview on our show. Anybody else affiliated with the show, whether technical, actor, writer, director, anybody, gaffer, best boy. What does a best boy do? I'm not sure.
Someone that drove Stephen Lang to his hotel. We don't care, man.
Yeah, just somebody who watched Avatar, maybe. Anybody who works the food cart. Yeah, catering for Terra Nova. Anybody that lives in Australia wants to be interviewed, just send an email to terranovapodcast@gmail.com, and we'll get an interview set up for the show. That would be awesome. All right. So like I mentioned, we're on iTunes. If you could give us a good recommendation on iTunes, that could help us get popular quicker and get more people interested in Terra Nova. We have some other interviews that I found around the net that I'd like to play for you right now. One is Stephen Lang.
I like to call him Slang.
So what can you tell us about your character in Terra Nova?
Nathaniel Taylor. He's the first one through the wormhole. He's the founder of Terra Nova. He's dynamic. He's charismatic. He's somewhat enigmatic. He leads with a philosophy that I guess could be best stated as it's my way or the highway. And I think you'll feel, you won't be sure how you feel about him. Some people are going to really dig him. Some people are going to be a little bit leery of him, I think.
And what attracted you to a television project after your recent film success?
Yeah. Well, first of all, the pedigree of the people involved in this was huge, I think. And to me, whether I'm working in film, television, theater, I do it all. I love it all, and this seemed to be an extraordinary opportunity to accomplish something that hadn't been done before, which is to say, a great family show. I couldn't think of any reason not to do it. I tried.
And Terra Nova has such an epic scale. How was the whole experience of filming?
It was and continues to be relentless. Just the challenge of doing a show of this scope, which is to say, a lot of times I feel just the scope of it, you feel like you're doing a major film. But the fact that you're doing an hourly, weekly show, it's very intense. It's draining.
The show also has a high sort of proportion of special effects. Was that something you were used to coming off of Avatar?
Absolutely. Special effects are reality for all of us in the business now. The question always is to use them in a discriminating way, to understand that they are not, that special effects are not going to make you a success, that they're there to enhance what has to be a superb story.
And just finally, how would you pitch the show to people? Why should people tune into Terra Nova?
I think it's it's a wonderful adventure. It's thought-provoking in its own way. If you like roller coasters, it's a good thing to get on because it's thrilling, it's scary, and it leaves you safe at the end of the evening and wanting more.
That was Stephen Lang, and now we have one with Brandon Braga and Renee Echeverria. Here we go.
It was a concept that was created by a woman named Kelly Marcel, actually, originally, who lives in England. And it was a concept as science fiction writers, so to speak, Renee and I just really sparked to, not only in its kind of humanistic, somewhat Star Trekian type themes, and we're very familiar with that because we worked on that show together. But also, there's something really unique about a show that's set in the distant future and the distant past simultaneously, but not the present.
the show is all about the Shannon family. They're sort of our point of view characters who have taken this journey into the past. And there's a mom and a dad and teenage kids and a 5-year-old Zoe. So there's something in our storytelling we hope for everybody, because there are stories about parenting, there are stories about being a teenager in a new world. And they are our point of view characters as they sort of figure out what makes this place tick and what the dangers and excitement of the place is. It is visually spectacular. We like to think, and part of the great look of the show is that where we're shooting it in Australia, and it's just a lush kind of vegetation. Even the quality of the light there is just a little bit different than what people are used to seeing. So it's brought a really unique visual palette to the show.
The catapulting premise of the show is time travel, so we're not going to be dealing with more time travel and weird things that happen. However, weird things do happen on the show. As Renee says, there's a level of intrigue running through the show. It's not a time travel show per se, in that we're not leaving the Cretaceous time period, but there are some interesting mysterious twists that happen along the way that we obviously won't talk about now.
Our people have arrived there, and we didn't build a time machine. They actually have exploited a natural phenomenon that they're not completely in control of. So they can't really go back and forth, and they can't really go anywhere else, at least now. So tune into Terra Nova to see something you never seen on television before. The scale and I don't know.
And tune into, well, he's right. It's really, nothing ever has been attempted like it. Nothing's quite been seen like it. But it's also, one of the things that we love about it is it's a show that a whole family can enjoy together. It's not a show that lacks an edge, but it really is at its core about a family, and it has a very broad appeal, and that's why people should tune in.
So that's just a little bit more information about Terra Nova coming out. We're putting up here what we got for now until the shows come out. This is from thehollywoodreporter.com. It's a good little clip because it introduces you to the new characters and you get to hear their voice for the first time for some of us.
In the year 2149, the world is dying. The climate has basically been destroyed. We have happened to have found this fracture in time and ends up 85 million years in the past and found a settlement which we call Terra Nova.
Terra Nova is a new colony which has been formed by Commander Nathaniel Taylor.
I play Commander Taylor. He's a leader and he's intrepid. I played Jim Shannon.
I play Elizabeth Shannon, who is a doctor in 2149. Hours and hours.
Yeah, you know what?
She and her family have been selected to go to Terra Nova.
And once they're there, they need to figure out ways to survive.
I play Maddie Shannon, and she is the daughter of the Shannons.
I play Zoe. I'm the youngest child of the Shannon family. She's a tough girl.
I play the character of Josh Shannon. He's the oldest sibling in the Shannon family. He's the only one in the family that really doesn't want to go to Terra Nova.
My character, Sky, has lived in Terra Nova for a long time now and gets in trouble.
What's your favorite band?
Dolly Parton.
I play Mira, and she's the leader of the Sixers colony. They're a tribe that live out in the jungle just outside of the Terra Nova camp.
Filming in Australia has been absolutely amazing.
This seemed to be the most appropriate place. It really seemed prehistoric.
Shooting in waterfalls and trees.
You really do feel like you're in a whole other world.
It's not all green screen. We're not stuck in a studio. We're out in the open. This beautiful place.
People can expect just about everything you could ever get in a TV show.
A lot is going on. I'm sure you've heard that there are animals in this, most notably dinosaurs.
It's cool, like doing things with dinosaurs.
We've got action, it really ticks all the boxes.
It's also futuristic. It's got that sci-fi element.
We've got big things driving around.
but it's also got that kind of Western vibe.
I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed.
Come on, it's got giant monsters that are attacking you. It's pretty cool.
I hope you guys take part in our essay contest. If you already own Life on Mars on DVD, you can still win it and give it to a friend and get somebody else to know Jason O'Mara. If
you're one of the few people that haven't seen Avatar yet, go check that out.
I hear it's in 3D.
Yeah, I heard it made a couple bucks at the box office.
Couple, yeah.
All right, and now we got the news with Heather.
News.
I'm Heather with the Terra Nova News. Simone Russell has just joined Terra Nova to play Alicia Washington, the second-in-command to Stephen Lang's character Nathaniel Taylor. The actress signed on during reshoots of the pilot and, according to Deadline, has appeared in every subsequent episode. Ashley Zuckerman from The Pacific and Amelia Burns from Don't Be Afraid of the Dark have also signed up for recurring roles on Terra Nova. Producers have added an element into the show's heavily reworked pilot to help answer questions on the butterfly effect. Renee Echevarria says, "So many people had the idea they were going back to change history, we wanted to change that. In the show, we will learn that they aren't going back to our past, but to an Earth on a different timeline, so nothing they do will affect our future." There are dinosaurs and beasts galore, but Terra Nova's producers describe the show more as a Western. While speaking to reporters at Television Critics Association Media Tour in Beverly Hills, executive producer Brandon Braga repeatedly dubbed the series as a frontier story. It's just that in this case, the family is time-traveling to a prehistoric frontier, where instead of native tribes, they encounter some rather large reptiles. It may take a while to get that message across, though. The hope is that, though audiences may come for the dinosaurs, they'll stay for the Shannons, who face their own internal battles as they struggle to adjust to their new environment. As O'Mara jokes to reporters, we're also cheaper than the dinosaurs. Terra Nova will have 13 episodes in their premiere season, but state they're up to the challenge if 9 more episodes are ordered. Brandon Braga says, "If they tell us they want 9 more, it'll be incredible, but we're up to the challenge. I might have a nervous breakdown, but those decisions are made by people far above, the emperors. I'm just in the trenches over here. I have no idea. We're designing it like the first season will be 13, but one never knows." Terra Nova begins on September 26th on Fox in the U.S. and will debut on Sky One in the UK this autumn. That's all for this time. Check out TerraNovaPodcast.com for more. And remember, a family is 4.
That was great. Even more information we got. Thanks, Heather. I'm just totally excited for this show to come out. I can't wait for it to come out. I'm like starved. Every little bit of information that comes out, I like clasp onto, and I want to know more and more and more. We got some feedback from Laura Cozine. She emailed us, and thanks for the email, Laura. She mentioned that what we mentioned in our first show about how to make the ratings higher for Terra Nova, we should mention that every show. So I agree, and that's a good idea. So we'll mention that now. Try to watch the show live if you can. And if you're DVRing or TiVoing the show, watch it within 24 hours. And watch it again within 3 days. Repeated viewings do count. And if you happen to be a Nielsen family, remember to count everybody in the house watching every time they watch the show. Yeah, repeated viewings count. Do you have a DVR, Jordan?
I do not, but I want to seem cool, so absolutely.
All right. Well, I'll watch it 3 times, so that'll make up for you not counting it as watching it. Sound good?
That sounds good. We should do a party for the first episode, actually.
Oh, that's a great idea. A Terra Nova party for the first episode.
Yeah.
I'm into that, as long as it's in Cape Coral and at my house.
That's fine. I'm down for it. Terra Nova parties across the world, I say.
All right. If you're in Southwest Florida, come to Cape Coral. Email me. I'll give you my address. Terra Nova party is on.
All right. I don't know if I'm coming now, because you're giving your address to random people, and that's scary.
Okay, never mind what I said about my address. Just me and Jordan and our news girl Heather and maybe a couple other people. But you got to be cool to get in. Or if you like us on Facebook, you can get in too. Speaking of our emails and feedback, thank you, Laura, for the email. You can send emails to terranovapodcast@gmail.com. If you're interested in the mini webisodes, the prequel webisodes, I'm excited about those. You can find the link to those on our Question of the Week page and watch the mini webisodes on the official Terra Nova website on fox.com/Terra Nova. And it's a really good way to keep up with Terra Nova, get to know the characters a little bit. They are short little videos, and a lot of them are just like pictures of something. I like the family is 4 sign. That looks interesting, to curb overpopulation. They don't want you to have more than 2 children, so a family is 4. That's interesting. Interested to see where these little mini episodes go. I'm sure they're not going to contain too much that's necessary to watch the show, because a lot of people aren't going to watch them. Only the people that are interested in Terra Nova as much as we are going to watch those mini webisodes. Maybe we'll have a little upper hand on people that didn't watch them by watching them, and they might have a little shout out to those in the actual show of Terra Nova. They did that for Battlestar Galactica, I remember, and they weren't necessary to watch to enjoy the show, but if you did see them, then a lot of the story made sense on Battlestar Galactica. Speaking of Battlestar Galactica, I forgot to mention last week, when we were talking about all the 47s in TV shows, Battlestar Galactica had them. When I looked it up on Wikipedia, Alias apparently was a big 47 show. They had 47s everywhere in Alias. I had no idea, because at the time I didn't know about 47, and if you didn't know about it, you wouldn't notice it. So now when I rewatch Alias, I'll just rewatch the first, few seasons. I didn't like the last season so much. Did anybody? I don't know. Did you ever watch Alias?
Oh, I don't think I did. No, never got into it.
It's a great show, just not a great ending.
Really? Just like Felicity?
I like the ending of Felicity. Come on, man. That was good.
I just wanted to hear your reaction. That was just joke.
He just wanted to say something about Felicity so I'd react. I understand that. Yeah, I love Felicity. I watched it. It was on Wii. I'll watch it. I watched them all in a few months, bought all the DVDs. That was a good ending. It was a sci-fi show, and
Were you mad when she got a haircut?
No, because I had heard that in the news ahead of time, so I knew it was coming. That's all I knew of Felicity before I started watching it, was she got a haircut.
They cushioned the blow for you, so you weren't as heartbroken.
Exactly. When I first started watching Doctor Who, the new version, they were like, my buddies told me, don't get too used to Christopher Eccleston, because he won't be there for too much longer. So I was like, okay, so it didn't bother me when he was replaced.
Dude, my mom is still reeling from David Tennant. She can't get over it. She wants him back.
Yeah, David Tennant's awesome. He's one of my favorites. Are you watching Torchwood on Starz?
No, I don't have Starz.
You don't have Starz?
Nope.
I'll get the DVD when it comes out. Pretty good. They're doing an American version of Torchwood with a couple of the same actors. I like it. It's pretty good. It's all about Mekhi Phifer's in it.
Well, no, that Torchwood looks good, and I'm glad it's expanding to a wider audience.
Together, we are at the dawn of a new civilization.
There's a lot about this place you don't know.
I won't go without Dad!
Come on!
Terra Nova launches Monday, September 26th on Fox.
That's it for this time. Please come back to our website, terranovapodcast.com, and check out our chat, our forums, our links to social media sites. Check out the Terra Nova wiki link. You can send email to terranovapodcast@gmail.com. It might get read on the show. We prefer to hear your voice, so if possible, please record an MP3 and send it to us. If you don't have a microphone or just prefer to leave us a voicemail, you can do so by calling 707-847-NOVA. That's 707-847-6682. And if you make a mistake, just keep going and we'll edit them out before they air. Alright, that's it for this time. I'm Al.
And this has been Jordan.
Alright, see you next time.
Stay beautiful, people.
Thank you for joining us for this installment of the Terra Nova podcast. Go to terranovapodcast.com each week to listen to new installments of the Terra Nova podcast. The Terra Nova podcast is not affiliated with 20th Century Fox Television, Churnin Entertainment, DreamWorks Television, and Capitol Entertainment. While at terranovapodcast.com, be sure to join our forums where you can discuss Terra Nova with other listeners. You can also follow the Terra Nova podcast on Facebook and Twitter, where we post announcements about our show and all things Terra Nova. Links to our social media pages are at terranovapodcast.com. Support from listeners like you help keep the Terra Nova podcast operating. You can find a link to donate using PayPal at the bottom of our website. You can also show your love of the Terra Nova podcast by shopping in our store, where you can buy t-shirts, coffee mugs, mouse pads, and much more. The link is available on our homepage. The Terra Nova podcast is edited by Albie. The Terra Nova universe and all that it contains is property of 20th Century Fox Television, Chernin Entertainment, DreamWorks Television, and Capitol Entertainment. No infringement is intended. The Terra Nova podcast is a Barren Space production, all rights reserved.
August 26th. No, wait, September. It still premieres September 26th, so... Hello?
I'm here. Yeah, just write an essay. The link's up to you, but, what you're excited about Terra Nova for. Let me try that again. Yeah, just write an essay about what you're excited about the new... Oh, say it again.
So, I did mention we are on iTunes. If you could give us a good review on iTunes, that would go... That would... I'm glad I edit. So, like I mentioned... did you want to introduce the news again?
Introduce the music, man?
The news with Heather.
Okay. And everybody...
I don't know why I said it.
Do you have anything to say?
I love you.
That'll go in the blue person.